speaking today? Yes. Okay, so I'm Mark Allen. What? Nice to meet you. So if I could get you guys to sign in, please, okay? And then whoever will be speaking today, if you could fill out, the public participation form. Okay. And then sign in also. Do you have any? I'm not seeing any. Nothing. And then I just answer it and you should be good. Yeah, if you call them with us, I'm going to text like this. Text to make sure if you can hear and everything. Okay, 98 792 5020. Yes. Oh, really? Oh, no, 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 no. Okay. Yep, yeah, no, no worries. So when you come in, you just sign the sign-in sheet. And then if you plan on speaking today regarding that issue, you could fill out, the public participation form and turn it in to that young lady upstairs. All right? John, do you need more than one? Okay. We'll start with one. It's better than none, huh? Okay. So will someone be pointing and someone be speaking into the microphone, or will Alfred be doing all that? Okay. they can talk, but as soon as they're down, then they can. So I'm not 100% positive how this equal is set up. Okay. So,
Let's see. And I think the last time we did this, we actually, wait a minute, guess what?
you don't need,
Yeah.
the boards will just set right there.
And the board,
Perfect.
so what we did was, we actually put it there, and when it's time, I'll come up and set it up like this. So that's what we'll do.
Okay.
I mean, we're supposed to have the flat mat, facing the.
Okay. Oh, okay, so you can mention it?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right. Yeah, we're newer at this, so.
Okay.
The two of us.
So,
Yeah.
Rebecca just started, July, first of July,
Okay.
and I've been here since November.
You were.
I work for planning, yeah, we both work.
Oh, for planning and zoning.
Yeah.
Okay. Your first name again?
Mark.
Mark,
Yeah.
okay.
So, yeah, I'm one of the buildings.
Oh, okay. Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm sure there's a lot of buildings going on.
Yes, yes, we're staying busy.
So, where's all the building coming from? Okay, so we want a subdivision because the families that want to move here and all that kind of stuff. But what other kind of building is going on? Is it just growth of the city?
It's just growth because of the line. We,
Well, I think it's like generation two want to stay.
yeah. I mean, our economy here is because of the line.
I got it.
Because of, the emergency mines, plus the Stafford mine. So the Stafford mine is growing exponentially.
And
And,
is that for mine also copper?
yes, yeah.
Well, I mean, you gotta have copper to build circuit boards. So
Yeah,
that's-
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and then there are potentially projected 3,000 to 4,000 more people that are gonna put on, and we don't have the housing right now to do that. So, and then that's just affecting the mine, but as the mine grows, then they're gonna be hiring contractors also, and then, then really that growth is just double, because they hire contractors need places to stay also, so I mean, the face of Stafford is going to change dramatically within the next 10 years. Right.
Is that just somewhere in that area?
Well, within Grant County, we're greater than a city. So I don't know what the last census was, but that's not for Stafford.
That's sad.
So that's Stafford, Lima,
Okay.
Solomon.
Okay. Okay. Sure. That's it.
Yeah. And if you look on Zillow right now, there's only 10 houses for sale. So.
So that's why we're here.
Mhm.
Because when we came here 2 years ago, we found that in the area that we wanted, which is about 9 miles south of 911, we found, but at the time, because of the pandemic, the one house was going for $250,000. That's the problem was, is that we needed another $25,000 more than that. And it was kind of like the mindset of one house. And some people that I know have said that we wish we just would have built, they're finding out more problems. Yeah, I mean, every time I look at my story, because, I mean, we were just looking and looking. So we were, the last subdivision was built here in the second area. So you travel Grand County?
Yeah, we do Grant County.
It's pretty good.
It is.
Yeah, driving into Florida, I remember saying the beginning of this, wherever it started.
Yeah, the beginning of Grant County is,
Oh, yeah.
really Grant County goes into the reservation. but we don't have,
San Carlos?
yeah, we don't have any power. So, yeah, we don't have any jurisdiction on the lake. So the Grant County goes on it. But we stop at the reservation line, and then we go all the way to the other side of the mountain. And then we go on that, and then we go all the way to State Fort Grant Road, and then we go by the tomato plant, the farm, and then we head on, I can't remember that road name, but we go almost all the way, it's in Wilcox, it's still Grant County, the outskirts.
Yeah,
of
yeah,
Wilcox.
yeah, yeah.
And we go all the way to, well, where Green County. It is, it's huge.
And what's your part of this driving?
Furthest driving time is, hour and a half. Depending, if we're on the dirt road, going out to Klondike, you could go through this drive time, getting somewhere, an hour and a half to 2 hours of just 10, 15 miles an hour, don't be washboard road. So, it's not very exciting.
You just understand the road, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I love it. I experienced planning in 2009.
So,
So my ambition was to become a welder in mine. I just graduated welding school. And then, then it was 2008, when the recession hit.
yeah.
So I put in, over 100 applications in Phoenix and sent myself, no one had them. So then I came out here and I was able to get on with a contract with Ridge Construction. And I worked in traffic for about a year and a half and then I moved to the Northeast. No, I live in Stafford.
Oh, yeah.
And I always lived in Stafford. But I worked in Northeast for years and I was retired in my life. Started my company. And then roundabout way, a couple companies later, then I was good.
Good.
And then,
Yeah. Now, we were from Mississippi, we were coming out here. So we were here, we were here during 2007, 2008, when the real estate started.
yeah.
And it was really, my wife was Gilbert, so in the 1 mile section of Gilbert, where her house was, there were over 400, in 1 square mile, 470 million. And it was crazy.
Yeah.
Then,
Yeah. No, not at all. I'm not, no, I was born in Plant City, Florida.
Oh, okay.
So, I grew up, we moved to Phoenix when I was 9 years old.
Oh, okay.
I grew up in Phoenix, and then when I was 15, we moved back to Florida, and then I moved back. Yes, I did. Yeah, so then I spent 2 years in Maui and from Ohio, so. Yeah. I love it. I mean, I moved out there. About this,
How long you? Very well. I just know family from, Wilcox. We grew up in Wilcox. And,
happy to be back. Yeah, thanks so much. Yeah. I mean, once you go around the island, so many times, so then I traveled with Hawaii or the Palm area. But it doesn't. on vacation.
True.
It's a way to do it.
And that's probably the reason for because we're bringing all of this.
Yes, sir. This is, cool.
We put my phone on silent because I get so many phone calls today. I'm so busy.
We appreciate your time.
Yeah, okay. I don't know. Hang on, I got a granddaughter. I'm gonna figure it out.
does to be.
No, you
Good
can call
morning.
it now if you'd like. Thank you.
I think it used to have a live.
What's going on? Nutty, it's nutty.
So when will we know? Will she just
She'll call.
start talking or,
Yes.
okay? If she has a questions or.
Hello,
Hi, it's Judy Moat.
good morning.
We can hear you great.
Okay, great.
We'll get started here in a few minutes.
All right, I was told. Sorry I can't be there, but I'm in Michigan, so.
Probably just as hot as here.
Oh, no, it's actually, I'm wearing a jacket and, you know, it's like, I've been cold ever since I've been here, but I think it's supposed to warm up.
Quit
Sometimes.
bragging.
Yeah.
It's rained every day so far, so it's supposed to start raining again tomorrow, but, you know, it's like I said, I had to go to Goodwill and buy a jacket because they told me it was hot here. It ain't Arizona hot.
No. We've been hot.
I'm gonna tell you what's going on.
Yeah.
Morgan Roderick's deal.
I know nothing.
This,
Do you want to turn it on?
this one has all the photos. It didn't get noticed, but
So what are we doing?
we're gonna have to, filming some more time. We didn't have any-
Do you have a,
No, I'll sit right here, cause.
I'll just get up there.
Hey,
you have an
got
extra
right
pen
before it starts. What's
down
wrong?
there?
You guys can do what you want.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
thought I'd call, just, you know, make sure I could get through.
9 properties, 6 of them.
And we can't
Anybody
drive
else
it, he
want a
said?
pen?
I come
He's got his favorite
Only based
pen.
on the first parcel. 200 feet out of
Okay,
the first parcel. But there's like 7 or 8 parcels.
Harrison's or, I don't think that kid, he wants to tow for us, but I don't think he's gonna do it. You know, as cheap as they do it, but you can
Yeah,
get
this
that
is the
number
one I'm doing.
from Sonia and ask him what he wants. I can't remember that tow truck kid, but I'd say call Harrison and see if they can haul it up there.
Show you and then that way.
All right, bye.
Is the one that rented this bit is Tom Holmes.
And he's gonna be the first one.
Anything new, Brandon? New projects or anything?
I'm bidding on a few things.
Is church still gonna do something or I know we talked about that.
They haven't, but it's coming.
I just see a tsunami between, especially into next year. It's just gonna be what we can do. I mean, losing people right out there.
I just don't want it coming too quick, cause then you get people coming in and flooding the market and then
No one's gonna come here. They're so busy in Phoenix.
I hope.
I did see a truck go by today that said he was something and it has New Mexico plates on it. He looked construction. I've never seen before. But we haven't picked up any new customers. We got Brand X.
Ready?
If you'll all be seated, please. I guess I can turn that on again. Please, get your seat so we can get started.
Another computer problem.
I want to welcome you all to this meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission. It's always nice to have the people represented here. When your item for hearing comes up, then if anyone wants to talk to that, there is papers on the back that you'll need to turn in to Rebecca. And when you get up there, please state your name and then talk loudly, and you only have 5 minutes. So it is now the time and place for the Planning and Zoning Commission on the 19th of July, and I will now call it to order. The roll call, we do have a quorum. I will say that we do have one of our commissioners is out of state, and she is going to be on the phone so that she can vote, so we can have a quorum and everybody can get this business done. We need to approve the minutes for the May 17th, 2023 Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. Has everybody had a chance to read that? Is there any changes or additions? Okay, good.
A motion to approve those minutes.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second to approve the May 17th, is that right? Wasn't it June? Meeting minutes. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Hi, Judy.
Hi, said I.
The first thing on the public hearing is REZ 88323 APN 10739018038, 25.25 acres. A request is being made to rezone the current that's a general use zone, to an RM, that's a residential multifamily, for the purpose of a few rentals and possible subdivision. Steve, do you have anything to say to that?
Good morning. This is a request from Tom Palmer of Marietta to rezone this 25-point-something acres for multifamily residential. He is here if you have questions. He hasn't been specific as to what he wants to do other than multifamily housing, possibly a subdivision. I don't think he yet knows, without the zoning, he isn't gonna do enough study to know what he can fit there. I think probably septic wastewater is probably gonna be his biggest hurdle, but without the zoning, he doesn't wanna spend any money to study that. So if you do wanna hear from him, we can facilitate that, or if you think this is a good place for that, then.
Do you have any questions of Steve about this?
Is there
Commissioners?
any complaints or letters or?
We heard nothing from any of the neighbors. And most
Mr.
of
Palmer,
that-
would you want to speak to this? Sure.
Tom Palmer, my address is 3100 Church Street in Thatcher. So I own this with Reed Larson. Marana LLC is the actual applicant. Bottom line is we want to build a few duplexes on this piece of property, which you can't do without a rezone. We're basically out of splits, so we can't do a whole lot split-wise, so we thought, we may subdivide somewhere down the road. This land is south of the highway and would be a buffer between the prison and the single family north of that. Just south of this, there's a little RV park that we've got plans kind of south of the wash. You can see there's a really big wash cutting through the south side of the property that's highlighted there. Just south of that, we've got 25 little RV spaces. So we're basically trying to go from really intense use of the prison to kind of taper it out as we go. As Steve said, there's no water up there, so we'd have to drill a well with whatever we do, and septic is what we'd have to do. So really honestly don't know how far we'll take it, but zoning would be the first step to start looking at it. Like say right now it'd probably be a duplex or two, and then maybe down the road look at chunking it up, but we couldn't chunk it up without probably going through a subdivision process, so that may happen way down the road. We've had this land for 15 years and haven't done much with it, so we're just starting to think about what we could do with it. Happy to field any questions if you have any.
How far away from the prison is it?
The prison is just south of Cook Road
Right
down
there.
there, and so it's not, shoot, I should have measured it, but it's not probably 600 feet between the prison and the south end of this property, something like that. It's close. So probably on the south side of the road, adjacent to the prison, it wouldn't be a lot of permanent, single-family, dream homes. It would be more, try to utilize it for people that need a place to stay and that type of thing, so.
Too far away for City of Safford's water then?
Well, the funny thing is, City of Safford's main water from Bonita runs right through the
Right through
property,
there.
but they won't let you touch it because it's their Bonita water that they need to mix with everything else, so. Yeah, we've talked to them, and there's certainly a chance that someday there's water up there on the hill. I think everyone up there would love it because the water up there is pretty warm and salty and everything else, but right now, it's not in the books. 780. Thank you.
So are you looking to rent these homes out, lease them out, or sell them, or whatever falls?
Whatever, probably, yeah. I mean, I could see building a duplex and holding on to it. I could see building a duplex and selling it. I could, again, we really don't have any set plans on the housing. It's more, what do we do with this? And if we could get it zoned for multifamily, then we could look at, okay, do we try to chunk it up and build a few ourselves type thing? But I know it sounds like we're getting the cart before the horse, but really the horse is the zoning. That's the thing that has to come first, and then everything else can kind of be looked at after that, so.
I'd like to make a motion to pass this.
Is there
I
any
don't know
other
if we've had a public
discussion?
hearing yet, but I
Oh,
think.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll sit down.
Uh-oh.
Is there anybody else who'd like to speak to that? Please come up and state your name.
Hi, can everybody hear me? Okay, perfect. I used to be a teacher, so I didn't have a problem with that. My name is Verna Titchen. I actually am one of the residents that live there. And so I just didn't know, this is my first meeting, I didn't know to put the number, I just put rezoning on there. So I did want to speak to this. I talked to several of my neighbors, and I'm sorry that they aren't here today also. One of the biggest concerns that we have is the water that's up there. We're recently there. We've only gotten occupancy about 6 months ago after building for 18 months. And the water is a big problem for us. It's a big concern for us. Everybody has to have a well. We have a well. We have a whole house filtration system on it. The water still, after a year and a half, comes out very, what I call dusty. We supply our own drinking water. We still take our laundry to the laundromat, even though we have a brand new washer and dryer in there, because it's just not, I don't know, it doesn't filter like we would like for it to. We have a refrigerator that's supposed to be making ice, and we have never hooked that up. And so we try to keep the lines clean. We try to be we're minimalists and conservationists by heart. And so we don't have animals that we're trying to feed. We left the land exactly as it was. So we're not trying to grow plants there. And I was nervous about the words a few and potentially. So what does a few mean, and what is potential? Usually a few means more than 3, and potential means now I've kicked the door, now the door is open, I'm gonna kick the door open. And we all own, we're up there 10 acres, 20 acres, and we like our privacy. We're also concerned about the amount of traffic. There's already 250 employees that come to and from the prison, and we have our house situated so we don't see the prison lights. And so we want to be good neighbors, and we would ask that they would not pass that. I just believe there's other places with better water sources where things like that could be built. Thank you for listening.
Excuse me, where do you live?
Directly across the street from where, okay, so you see that little place that has the house? That's not us. We own the property. I just point it, okay. It probably won't show our house, but we built our driveway, we own this. We built our driveway and we built a road across here, and our house sits at the back, about right there. So we have our house backwards, so that we look over this, and that way we're not affected by the prison lights. And we only see one neighbor. Their house isn't there, yeah, we only see one neighbor, depending on how we wanna look out the door, or out the window.
So you drilled your own well,
We had a company come and drill it.
or you had a company come and drill it? And it never was good water for you?
We, no, never, it's the water, not for us. Like I work out at the gym and I wear little black spandexy kinds of clothes, and the dirt never comes out of those when I wash them. So I accumulate all that stuff for a month, and then I take those things to the public laundromat. And our drinking water, we buy by the 5 gallons at one of those little water places, bring it home, and we have it in a cooler. The water temperature, of course, comes out hot. I mean, there's a lot of jokes about that. When you turn on the water in Arizona, it comes out like fire, but we don't even use our hot water up there.
Is there any other questions? Do you have anything to add, Steve? Thank you. Does anybody want to ask her a question? I'm sorry. Thank you so much. So is there any more discussion?
Tom, do you want to address any of her concerns?
No, I am fully aware that the water is awful up there.
So it would be fairly expensive probably for you to even clean that up as well. But you're just asking so you can kind of get a good, I guess, example of what you're getting into by going with the water. You're just asking, can you look into that?
Yeah, do I need to be at the mic, or can I speak from here? Can you get?
You need to be at the mic.
Obviously, if we wanted to solve it in a good long-term way that would allow any kind of multiple units up there, it would probably be working with City of Safford and putting a lot of money into infrastructure, pumps, tanks, all that kind of stuff to try to get water up the hill. We're not gonna do that if it's, 10-acre lots or whatever. So this would allow us to start looking into all of those options. We're not gonna go punch 40 holes in the ground with awful water and think that we're gonna get people loving the situation, ourselves included. So
you might end up just.
we know the water's awful, and we have looked into lots of long-term, I mean, we've got 350 acres up here that is pretty useless with the water situation. So we know that something's gotta give eventually. This might be, if we could get a few multifamily units, impetus to us spending a little more time and money to try to get a more permanent water solution up there. If not, then.
You may just sell it to one owner too, if somebody could buy.
Yeah, we
it
could,
from one
we could
house.
keep chunking it up.
As
I
long as
mean,
if we rezone it to residential, then the neighbors won't ever have to worry about it becoming commercial.
correct.
So it is a positive to rezoning it is, no businesses will be moving in.
There is the one just south, like I say, really the natural flow is gonna be heavy uses adjacent to the prison. There's the belt, Western Belt or whatever. They're putting a big warehouse and stuff right next to the prison, and then we'd have an RV park and then kind of taper down. But anyway, the water is awful.
Yeah.
Everyone up there knows it. Everyone drills the same depth. They all hit the same nasty water. It's bad.
Does anyone else, any commissioners have any questions? Did you want to ask any questions?
Did you know the water was bad when you bought the land?
No.
No, dang it. That's a tough thing.
So where does the prison get their water? Is that city of Sanford?
City of Safford. There's a water line runs across there. They just will not let any other additional people hook onto it because they have I think it's the Crosco well in Solomon that they need to blend that with I think it's, I don't know if it's arsenic or what they've got in that well, but in order to use it, they need this pure water, so they won't let anybody have it. They would have to turn around and take it all the way to Solomon, then turn around and pump it back up that hill in order for them to use it, and that is a little bit expensive. Unless there's enough people up there to spread that cost out, it's not gonna happen. So that's part of what he's addressing there, is get enough zoning to allow that to be feasible.
Is there any more discussion? Are you ready to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to pass it.
I second.
It's been moved and seconded that we send a favorable recommendation to the Board of Supervisors on this item. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Thank you for coming in, and this does go before the supervisors. We recommend and they make the decision, and that will be on when?
August 7th
August 7th.
at
Be there
8
early.
a.m. rather than 9 a.m. You
Yeah,
can
be
come-
there early.
You can come say the same things to,
We'll be out of town on that day, that's why.
you're welcome
Thank you.
to send a representative or write a letter, either, to make sure they know how you feel about it.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda has,
This is, let me just go here. I know there's a couple people here for this, but we failed to notice it right. Our GIS department created 8 separate 300-foot notice maps, and we did not catch that, so we notified everybody around one of the 7 or 8 lots that we're talking about here. So we left, I think, 6 people out and 8 or 9 properties out. So not everybody got a proper notice on this, so I'm gonna ask you to table it until next month, and we will resend letters. Everybody will get the proper letter this time, and you'll hear it next month. And that's my recommendation. You don't have to, but I would. I mean, I don't think we can.
Recommendation.
I don't think we can realistically hear it with not everybody noticed properly.
is there a second to this?
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded that we table this because of being able to give more information out and have more people involved in it. And all those in favor?
Aye.
So
Aye.
it would just show when it goes to the supervisors as being tabled, right?
It won't even go
It
to the
won't even go to
supervisors
them.
until after you do hear it in a month.
Okay, thank you all for coming, whoever didn't get to speak to this. It will be on the agenda for next month. The next item is on this page. It's the final plat for 22-02 and plat 22-03. And that's APN 106-28-085, 79.55 acres. A request is made to approve the final plat, for Sonora Skies LLC subdivision to create 24 parcels. This subdivision is located east of Stockton Road and west of Sky Blue Road, and north of Artesia Road and southeast entrance being an extension of Antelope. Do you want to prelim this, or you want me to just bring?
I'll start with, you guys sent this for a favorable recommendation. There's really not anything that has changed. The use is the same. Everything you approved is still the same. There are some kinks getting worked out as far as drainage and culverts and right-of-ways and easements and stuff, but if you have any questions, Alfred is here, or the girls are here to answer your questions, but I don't foresee any, nothing has changed in the use of the property since you approved it last time. So unless you have questions, he has brought slides and all kinds of stuff, but you tell me what you want to hear. And
Are you all familiar with this? 'Cause
He's
it's
not.
been going on for a little while. Do you have any questions before we vote?
that's true. Some of you weren't on this
Let me sit
commission
down
when
there.
that happened. Alfred, could you just come up and tell a little bit about what's going on and
This is the park.
give them how much information you want?
It's up by the monster.
South of town.
This is. I wasn't here. Me.
I'll direct this to you. You'll have your own, you'll have your own, easel.
My own personal, why, thank you.
So, do you want me to speak it?
I can't read that. Anyways, go ahead.
No, he can't read it. He can't read it.
You have your own,
Oh, it's a shame you don't get to use those.
So the short story is that we came here in June of 2022, a little over a year ago. Okay. Several families were wanting to move to the area, and as we were looking for property, we couldn't find any. There were not that many houses for sale, so we began looking for land. We thought the best thing to do would be to build, and at that time, we found land that was in the Artesia area and pursued that, so we bought 80 acres. At this point, we have done almost all of the work except for finalizing the road improvements and some retention ponds and things like that. But for the most part, we have completed the work. Are there any questions you have on that? Or okay. No.
It's up there by the monster.
Yeah, monasteries up there. And it's, that would be what, no?
No. West.
Yeah, the only notations on that plat map really are just the basic things about retention ponds, drainage, and the position of the property within the county and the particular lots and the layout that we decided on.
He's got it up on the wall too.
Oh, there you go.
It's just west of the monastery.
Right there. Okay, you good with that?
They're all gonna be large places, correct?
Yes, okay, so we have 8 4-acre lots. We have 16 3-acre lots. The thought was we're very conscious of the water in this area.
That's what I was gonna ask you about, but.
Yeah, and so really, it's a low-density rural subdivision is what it is. And we did not want to put too many houses on it because some people do want to, as we've talked about it, some people would like to have large gardens, but it's not really what you would call farming or anything like that.
We are all, as far as water goes, we're all conservationists. And we, when we saw the land, we thought it would be the perfect place to build. And so far, we've had lots of tests done. I mean, for the percolation test for the septic tanks and all that, and everything has looked great. So we don't see any problems at this time.
And all of these are going to be site-built homes?
Well, in our request, we said site-built and modular homes on concrete foundations, or I think we also had in there AB. Yes. Oh, yeah, no mobile homes. And in our covenants, we talk about how long you could have a mobile home on the property while you're building, but and if somebody has like an RV or something like that, we're asking them to put it on the part of the property where it's not an eyesore. Or someone recently that we talked to that is going to buy land there is talking about, you know, building a structure to put it in. We want to keep everything nice and orderly. We're in our covenants, we talk about not letting trash build on your property and those kinds of things. So we would like it to be a clean and orderly community.
We don't have any trouble with mobile homes. I just want to put that out there. It's just that I'm trying to bring something up you might be interested in.
Oh, sure. Let me.
The ordinance says that if you don't want to follow exactly what the rule says, that you can ask for an exception. And they're asking for a few, one being that they're not going to pave these roads. They're going to, well, unless they get denied the exception, I guess. But our ordinance requires 5-acre lots to not pave. But because they're not going to turn these roads over to the county, they're going to maintain them themselves. And this is going to be basically a gated community, and that's going to be their problem, drainage, all of that. So because we're not going to have to deal with it out of public money, we're going to consider that request, and he has a little more there.
So down the road, if they do decide to turn the roads over to the county, would they have to do something at that point?
Yes.
They would have to go in there.
In order for the county to ever take over maintenance, it would have to be brought up to the.
They'd have to be brought up to code and have to pave it.
And this will be part of your HOA, so the residents understand that they're agreeing to this,
Yes.
so they don't come back and sue the county later.
So there's 3 items. The first one is instead of having the road, since it is a rural subdivision, and since around all of the property there are dirt or gravel roads, we did not see the need to actually put in pavement. And we also thought that, considering the monsoon season and all those kinds of things, that using AB would be the best route to go. And we've been given instructions on how to lay that out and the process of doing it in 2-inch increments, that kind of a thing. And then also we were looking not only the initial layment of that AB, but also the ongoing maintenance. We thought that would be the best route to go. So that is an exception we're asking for. Any questions on that? Okay. The second one is, I guess it's an ordinance, ordinance or requirement for a traffic study. In the area, there are, on Antelope Lane, there's about 17 homes. On Goose Tree and Rector, there's about 15 homes. So there's about 32 homes in the area. And if you read what it says, there's actually minimal traffic there. We travel that road quite often, and sometimes you're lucky to see a car. One day we were joking that it was a LA bumper to bumper when we saw three cars on the road at one time. So it's not really a lot of traffic, and so if you add the 32 and the minimal traffic we've seen so far, and you were to add another 22 or 24 homes to that and double the traffic that we've seen within an hour, it really still amounts to minimal traffic. And so that's why we're asking for that exception. And as it says, even if a study was done, most likely it wouldn't require any changes to the road.
Our county engineer could comment on this if he'd like. He told me it probably didn't qualify for that need of the traffic study, but if you want to ask him questions, he can come up too.
Do you have any questions?
No, I've been on that road, there's not many people. Yeah.
Yeah, there's hardly anyone out there.
Okay. The third one is, I'm not gonna remember what the third one is. In place of the surety bond, we are proposing, so with the 80 acres, we have been allowed 4 permits to build. We built 1 home and there's 2 more that are in motion. And what we're saying is that to guarantee the completion of the subdivision, that we will not ask for any more permits until all of the road and drainage improvements have been made. So our goal is to sell these lots as soon as we can. And so it's to our advantage to go ahead and complete the improvements so that we can then, through the state report, get approval, and then the process begins. So does that make sense? Or, I mean, if there's any questions about, there is money, we have money to do that, and we just thought this would be an easier way to kind of deal with it. Steve, any comments on that?
Let me just qualify that. In our ordinance, we allow up to 4 homes to be built on any parcel without being split out, to be built on any parcel 20 acres or larger. So they pulled that option. I mean, they asked for that option before they even started the subdivision. And so we told them, yeah, you can have 4 permits before you do your subdivision. So now they're saying we will finish the subdivision before we ask for a 5th permit, or we won't ask for a 5th permit. So it's a pretty good guarantee that they're gonna finish.
Is there any questions? Is there anybody from the audience that wants to speak to this? Any questions?
If your plat's approved and then the improvements don't go in, what happens to the plat? And that's my concern. I've got a plat sitting out there with.
What did he say, Steve?
So if the improvements, you know, if they get the plat approved, and they don't do the improvements, then what happens to the plat? I mean, plat becomes recorded when the plat's approved. And so the concern would be that you've got a plat out there with lots on it that's been approved, but there's still no improvements.
Well, after the 4th one, they wouldn't be able to pull any more permits, right?
They can't pull any more permits, but you've got a plat recorded, and it's just kind of odd to be in that situation. When I think about it, I think, you know, here we've got a plat
Yeah, it's similar to having a lien. You know, we had a lien on property we didn't get paid on, and when they finally wanted to do something, they had to come back and pay us. So normally those things take care of themselves.
So I don't know whether it would revert to acreage, you know, that could be a condition or, you know, I don't know. Anyway, I'm just kind of being the devil's advocate here, I guess.
As he said, we could put it in that if we don't do anything with it, or we don't make the improvements, that we could revert it back to acreage. We have put so much effort into this that I can't tell you how fast we want to complete this so we can start building homes. There's a number of people, as a matter of fact, all of those lots, all 24 lots are spoken for already, and people can't wait to start building. So whatever we need to do legally to say that if we didn't do the improvements, we could write into a document. However, the probability of having to do that is very, very small, non-existent actually.
And I understand what he's saying, but we haven't had anyone come in here wanting to build a subdivision, didn't plan on it being successful. You know, so that's something that I think the supervisors will think about too. Well, I didn't. I was talking to them. I was talking to. Okay, I says there's never been somebody in here that wanted to start a subdivision that didn't believe it was going to reach success. They, you know, poured a lot of money in that bucket already.
Yes.
And I could be wrong, but as I understood it, this was for your convenience.
Yeah.
And so is it it would make it easier for him.
Yeah, it's to make the process go a little bit easier so that we can finally get to the end and start building it.
Yeah, and I really am a champion of this. I think this is a good place to put it, and happy for Silver, and you know, everything, it's working out real good for the county. But I want to make sure all of our
Right.
dots are covered also, because it's very important that we see the future of the county, not just, because somebody will be here next week wanting the same thing done, and it might not be as good as yours.
Okay.
And the monastery people are okay with this?
Oh, they're for
They are
it.
the monastery.
They
Yeah,
are for
it's
it.
all connected then?
Yes, they are.
Because I was waiting for some kind of opposition out there, and nothing happened, so I think it's a great thing then.
Yeah. Let me,
In terms of the improvements, the electric is already partly done and it's been all paid for the rest of it. So when we talk about improvements that are left, it's just roads and culverts. And the reason that hasn't been started is we've been waiting for the drainage report to be approved.
Very good.
let me have a quick sidebar.
What do you guys think? You're good with it?
Yeah.
I may have to apologize to these people because I told them, I don't think there's gonna be very many questions. We've already sent this to the board. It'll go.
And hopefully it will, but
If
we
you-
have a new person here.
If you wish to hear from the Realtor or the current property owner, they're both here, so if you want to hear anything from them.
Did you hear what he said? The
Yeah.
Realtor and the current property owner is here if you had any questions of them.
Not
So-
me.
To your last point, what would you like to see? I mean, we want the approval, so what would you like to see as far as the assurance that we will complete this subdivision? Is there any qualifiers or?
I think we could pass it the way it is and leave it up to the supervisors if they so want to add a sentence in there, but I don't want to change it right now. Push it the other way, so.
I agree. I think it's,
Second?
I think it's gonna,
Second.
I second.
Okay, so you have made a motion. There has been a motion made. I need to dismiss him.
Okay, sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There has been a motion that we send a favorable recommendation on this matter to the Board of Supervisors, and it's been seconded. And all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Are you opposed?
No, I'm aye.
That's Judy.
So it's been passed unanimously that we will send a favorable recommendation to the Board of Supervisors, and you'll need to be there. And you might want to have some some ideas of what we just questioned, because we don't know what they're gonna do. Yeah, thank you. And that's all of the agenda items. There's gonna, items for setting up, that's gonna be the second item. Is that correct? Gonna be moved for next meeting.
The one we just tabled.
The one we just tabled.
Tabled item.
Yeah, that's the only thing that'll be on your next agenda.
Okay.
Is there any other business? Previous board actions?
Let me find it.
I heard we got a new board member.
We did. Clay Mack has been named to replace Danny Smith on the Board of Supervisors, so, and I asked him yesterday to find somebody for the 9th seat on this board. And he already threw me a name, but he hadn't talked to the guy, so he's on it. We'll see if he comes up with get you guys a full bench up there. Why do I not have May 17th, but I don't have June's? Sorry, I don't have a list of what went to the board last time. And my mind's not working today. I can't think of what it was.
Would you want to email it to us?
I can do that.
Is that all right with you guys? And then you can include it in the minutes that this is going to happen, and then attach it for next time.
Do you guys remember what was on that?
There was
Last
several.
month was just as everything that
was here.
Was set up last month.
Mhm.
No, he was talking about
But
what the Board of Supervisors.
What the Board of
did
Supervisors.
At their meeting.
It's okay, Steve, we can do it that way, as long as we've all agreed on it, then, and she'll send us a copy of the decisions.
Okay,
Thank
yeah,
you.
I'll send that to you here later today. I'll
Okay.
email it out. Sorry about that.
Wait, oh no, there's no problem. Is there anything further to come before this commission? Then we'll entertain a motion for dismissal, adjournment.
I move we adjourn.
Okay,
Second that.
thank you all for coming, and don't forget to go to the Board of Supervisors meeting, that's very important, you're there. And
8 o'clock,
thank
August 7th.
you to our telephone person.
Yeah, if she said, they said, I could, either send a representative to my place or send an email. So, but because this one, I could have sent an email, but I chose to use the email. So if I want to address the board of supervisors via email, what's the Yeah, but I know so the prison has that same thing, and there is a big commercial building that went in there, we thought it was the thing of the RV park, but apparently not. So somewhere between that and that lodge is where it must have that little bit of 25 spaces, and then that lodge is there, and this number